Hello, everyone. I'm Chester44, and welcome to this Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights, Darkness over Daggerford. Last episode, we went out into the wild pastures and happened to find what was causing all the cattle to disappear. Goblins. Goblins were casting an invisibility spell on the cattle so that they could sneak them away into their area so they could eat them, which seems to be irritating someone else. We don't know who exactly, but apparently the cattle rustling is kind of drawing too much attention here.
Greetings.
Thank you on behalf of all the shepherds. Too bad you didn't puzzle it out before they took my poor Betty. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know if there's anything else on this northwestern area, but I'll check. I may as well. Nothing there. No, it doesn't look like there's really anything else. There is a northwards path, but I don't know if it goes to anything in particular. Yeah, I think that just goes back to the wild hills. So, let's report in on what we found to the people around here. Actually, I do kind of want to explore those new areas. Never walk through a cow pasture barefoot.
Hello.
Okay, nothing else to say there. Alright, in that case, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to head west and complete one of those side quests that we happen to have. We're in the area, why not? Should be relatively simple, I hope. Maybe we'll even be able to complete both of the side quests. I'd be fine with that. So let's start with the one that's basically a siege that is just to the west in the Blade Cliffs. Random area rural. A bunch of skeletons. Hold on. Turn undead. Well, that made him terrified. You deal with those, I'll get this necromancer dead. There we go. Random necromancer is dead. Mage is dead. Almost. And there we go. That wasn't too hard. Oh, we leveled up. I didn't even realize. Level up. What level am I right now? I am 7-4, Champion of Torm. 5 gives Divine Wrath. Once per day, +3 to attack, damage, and saving throws, and damage reduction 1/5 for a number of rounds equal to Charisma bonus. Honestly, as nice as Champion of Torm could have been, receive second feat at every second level, I think I'm going to go back to improving Paladin. Because, I mean, Champion of Torm, I got the 8 bonus to lay on hands. The Sacred Defense is nice every so often. I don't think I really need Divine Wrath. So, let's go ahead with Paladin again. Yes, improve strength. Discipline, lore, and persuade. All the way up again. And we can take, let's see, Divine Might, no. Charisma bonus to weapon damage. Charisma bonus to armor class. Zen Archery, no. We got weapon focus on longsword, and I think we have weapon specialization. Toughness, not a bad idea. I don't care about the spell focuses. Skill focus. Skill focus persuade is something that would be nice for me. Increases smiting ability to 3 times per day. I mean, I don't really use Smite Evil, but I could. I don't care about combat casting. I don't really cast spells. Let's go with Skill Focus Persuade. Okay. Do I get more spells now? I do. I get a 2nd level spell. Aura of Glory. +4 charisma bonus. No. And what does aid do again? +1 to attack rolls, a +1 bonus on saving throws versus fear, and a 1d8. Yeah, it's not really that good. Resist elements. Actually, resist elements. Okay. Now then, let's go looking through this this place.
Ah, the salty sea air. We gnomes prefer the earthy sense of underground, but Granda Retsatnerd had this idea for a submerging burrow to travel the high seas. It sunk.
Of course it did. Alright, we're closer to the south end, so let's take a look down to the south, and there's a cave there. Of course there is. And this looks like it's the way to go south, which would allow us to reach the other area, the Crab's Claw Coast. We'll deal with that later. Zianga and Beb Shore. First things first, what's in this cave? Okay, this cave is dark, and we have some ochre jellies. Alright. Slaughter all the jellies you can. I know they split up when they die, but at least we're able to kill a lot of them. There we go. Some stones here with bullets. Is there anyone who doesn't have bullets? We've got bullets. Reagan has ice bullets. Oh. And Perfin has... You know what? Here. Fill up on bullets. And I'm just going to drop the rest of these back in the rocks. If I can interact with it, please. Thank you. Alright, anything else in this cave? Some more stones over here. And more ochre jellies. Get on the slaughtering.
You better have some coin on you after all this trouble.
Go on, kill them all. There we go, they're dealt with. And we have more. A lot of rock. Vugu's journal. Interesting.
You shall find a quick death.
At least these things are really easy to kill. Alright, those are dealt with. Bit of quartz. Oh, wait, no, there were a few more. There we go. And now you're going for the other ochre jellies. Yeah, go ahead. And they're just getting cut up into pieces. There we go. Alright, some stones here with a cold stone. And some bones with black hammer shaft. That is actually going to be useful because we do need it for finding out for getting a new item. Quartz crystal. Some bones here with a gold piece, an adamantine helm, plus 2 armor bonus. That's actually pretty good. And Vugu's journal. This worn and weather-beaten tome has had all but the very last entry torn out, as if the author intentionally destroyed all record of their prior thoughts or achievements. The final entry is written in a hurried, erratic fashion, which might call into question the author's sanity. 15 years ago, when I finalized my doctrine on theorosophy, I never dreamed it would morph into the abomination that now plagues me so. The initial concept was sound, that one should not discount deep psychic urges and the motivations of the unconscious mind when attempting to validate an unproven hypothesis. Too often, science ignores a creature's base primeval desires and instead chooses to place too much importance on facts and clinical data. Where I went wrong was in my attempts to translate this new approach to my pupils, a couple of fawning, inept university rejects named Beb Shur and Xianga. These 2 brainless nitwits seem less concerned with the meaning of my words than with the syntax. For example, although I desired to apply more weight to emotions and ideals, they've chosen to do so by forsaking the primary intent of philosophical theory, which is to prove a hypothesis using factual data. Instead, the blathering idiots use empiricism simply to bolster their twisted quasi-spiritual view of the world and have begun promoting this new pseudoscience in all the trade journals. Worse still, they've named me as their mentor, which has drastically reduced my standing within the philosophical community. My reputation is in tatters, and without that, I am nothing. Well, that's unfortunate. And I think the 2 people he's talking about are right outside. Alright, let's see what they have to say about what we just found in here. See how the gulls float on the breeze, suspended by invisible tethers, as if belief alone holds them aloft. This man is intently studying the gulls that soar above the cliff's edge. Excuse me, sir, but what are you doing up here? I am studying the wind and the stars and the mysteries of the universe. Please speak to Beb Shur if you wish to know more. I have much to do if I am to follow in the footsteps of the Master. I'll leave you to your studies.
Greetings.
Tidings, citizen. You stand in the presence of Beb Shur, Master Theorosopher. Theorosopher? Is that anything like a philosopher? Oh, theory! Oh no, dear child. A theorosopher is nothing like a philosopher. A philosopher theorizes based on logic and empiricism, whereas we theorosophers rely entirely on deductive reasoning and intuition. Deductive reasoning and intuition. Sounds a little counterintuitive to me. It would to someone unskilled in modern rhetorical theory. You see, we theorosophers use our deductive skills to validate naturally held principles. You use deductive reasoning to enforce your pre-existing beliefs. Precisely. Take, for example, the encampment to the north. One sees a brightly colored tent with youthful men and women performing drills and calisthenics. It is, quite obviously, a traveling circus. Looks like a castle siege to me. Well, perhaps so, but that's beside the point. You see, my gut reaction is to look upon the scene and proclaim, that is a traveling circus. My next step involves proving it so via deductive reasoning. What if your deductive reasoning leads you to make a different assumption? Well, it can't. That's the beauty of theorosophy. Your first instinctual cognition is always the right one. You simply use deductive reasoning to prove this hypothesis. As Master Vugu would say, intuition trumps empiricism. Master Vugu, you see, was the first of us, our progenitor, the first wise man atop the cliff. But he is lost to us now, so I have taken up his mantle as leader of our order.
No.
Don't listen to this nonsense. I am the anointed wise man atop the cliff, as chosen by Master Vugu himself. Oh, really? And just when did the succession ceremony take place, pray tell, on Vugu's deathbed? Do not speak of the Master so. Vugu was the greatest mind of our age, a true visionary. How were Master Vugu's theories viewed by other philosophers? With scorn fueled by envy. These so-called scientists hide behind tomes of empirical data. They cannot break free from years of theoretical indoctrination. They are to be pitied. What happened to your master? He left us. The master was filled with despair and leapt from these cliffs to his death. A child standing nearby claims his last words were, "Theosophy is for the birds." We now know he was speaking in metaphors. Master loved feeding the gulls that congregate on these cliffs. We believe his study of these birds led him to some deeper meaning. Yes, we believe it has something to do with how the birds ride the winds. We believe our master hoped his own belief system would help him ride aloft the winds and take flight, metaphorically or otherwise. If successful, it would prove once and for all that intuition trumps empiricism, thus establishing theosophy as a cornerstone of future studies in rhetorical theory. Very soon I shall follow the master's example and take the plunge. Charlatan, mountebank, it is I, Zyanga, who shall follow our master's example and leap from the cliffs. Let me look at this book again. Let's see. One should not discount deep psychic urges and the motivations of the unconscious mind while attempting to validate an unproven hypothesis. Too often science ignores a creature's base primeval desires and instead chooses to place too much importance on facts and clinical data. I desired to apply more weight to emotions and ideals. They've chosen to do so by forsaking the primary intent of philosophical theory, which is to prove a hypothesis using factual data. Oh. Now I get it. He was just trying to say, listen, you focus so much on facts that you have forgotten about what people want with doing things. Yes, I get it. This thing works this way. But that's kind of a bad feeling for how people feel about it. But they decided to go, oh, so that means that how we feel is the most important thing, screw the facts. It's... oh boy, I am not getting into this. My advice to you both is to think before you jump. Sound spoken like a true empiricist. Be gone from my sight. Very well, I shall leave you to your studies.
Continue with that and you shall be properly schooled.
I'm going to leave this right here for you two. Alright, so let's take a look to the north then. Actually, I think this leads to... no, this does lead further on to something. Ah, that's the castle over there. But I will take a look at whatever is over in this area, which doesn't appear to be... well, it does actually have a way to go down, which we should take a look at, I think. There's a gravestone over there. Interesting. Fishing camp. Very interesting indeed. Alright, there is something to look at here before we go and investigate the siege going on. There's a couple... that's a runestone, not a gravestone. Interesting. Okay, let's head on down here, please. Come on, you can get down. Alright, what is this gravestone? The inscription on this grave marker reads, Lady Exeltis, loving mother and noble lady. Okay, nothing else over here. Runestone. None of the ancient characters on the slab are still legible. Same here. Heavy planks of splintered salt-stained wood surround this large window in the old ship's hull. The window's thick-tinted glass is cracked, and a thick layer of black grime obscures your view. Let me save before we take a look in here. Alright, let's take a look in here. Open the window and enter the ship. Okay. Small coffins. And a large coffin. Whether for good or ill, some creature lies in this coffin long undisturbed. Open it. Ah, a visitor. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Abu Nosfir ibn Atan ibn Hazan, though you may call me by my less formal name, which is Nosferat. If you have a moment, I am in desperate need of your assistance. You came out of this coffin, which marks you as either a raving lunatic or a vampire, and considering it's Nosferat, I'm leaning towards vampire. Yes, I am a creature of the night, though I differ in subtle ways from the typical garden variety vampire. How so? I do not slay innocents. I obtain succor from those who would do harm to others. In fact, in my native land of Zakara, I was often hired out by the Sultan to slay would-be assassins. The only payment I charged for my services was the blood of my victims. And, because my homeland is such a violent place, filled with all manner of cutthroats, brigands, and nameless assassins, the blood supply would never run dry. What brings you so far from your homeland? After using my services to slay a rival noble, the Sultan chose to dispose of the murder weapon, lest I be captured and confess my sins on the rack. Because we vampires are immortal, torture can be a most effective truth serum. I was provided a ship and crew and ordered to leave the land of fate and never return. Still desiring to remain true to my credo of only slaying those tainted by corruption, I embarked for the Sword Coast, a place well known for its highway bandits and bloodthirsty pirates. But my vessel was caught in a storm and foundered on the jagged reefs that ring these lands. Not long after, a holy man came to investigate the shipwreck and discovered my coffin. He ringed the ship with potent ritual stones, preventing my exit and resulting in a very slow and painful demise. I see more than one coffin here. A wise vampire does not travel abroad with but a single place to rest his head. Though easily portable, coffins are also subject to the elements. Consider these other containers backups in my rather elaborate contingency plan. But I thought vampires were immortal. A vampire's immortality hinges on our ability to feed. Without blood, we slowly waste away, neither dead nor undead, but suspended in a limbo of unimaginable torment. Where's the ship's crew? All perished when the ship ran aground. I would have perished as well, but for my immunity to such things. A pack of wolves came in the night and disposed of the bodies. You wish for me to remove the rune stones? Yes. Destroy the ritual stones and the spell will be lifted. I shall then find a suitable new abode and resume my career as bounty hunter for some local official militia. What's to stop you from just sinking your teeth into me once I've accomplished this task? You have my solemn oath that I shall harm neither you nor any who serve you for the rest of your days. In my lands, a man's word is an oath bond. Breaking such an oath results in a curse more terrible than any devised by demon or devil. Know, too, that I have carried rare trinkets with me from the land of fate, which I am willing to bestow upon you if you do this thing for me. Possibly stupid, but very well, I shall do as you ask. I see you are a man of reason. That is good. Return to me once the ritual stones are destroyed, and I shall bestow upon you a suitable reward. Do not think to double-cross me, Sir Vampire. Okay, then. Destroy the ritual stones. Shouldn't be too hard. Looks like there's only 2. Unfortunately, I can't get to them, so... Gillian's bow it is. There goes one. There goes the other. I think that's it. Open the window and enter the ship.
I greet you.
They're not yet destroyed. Okay, there must be one more that I didn't see. Must be on the other side, I'm guessing. I guess I need to go this way to find it. Ah, there it is. Hidden in the back. Hidden in the back, underneath the boat. That seems to be it. Interesting that I can continue around this way if I wish. There is a cave over there. You know what? I'm going to go investigate this cave, unless this cave is, like, a way into the underside of the cave. No, it can't be. What is in the cave? This dark cave cuts deep into the towering sea cliffs, leading into a maze of twisty passages all alike. A slow trickle of dark brown water seeps from the cave, slowly mixing with the tidal pools gently lapping at your boots. The cave smells foul, like rotting meat left too long in the sun. Let me save. I just want to see what happens if we enter. Oh, what was that? After wandering in the maze of dark caves for several hours, you become lost and return to where you started. Okay, so the cave is pointless, unless we find some way to navigate it. Alright, let's go around here. Jeez. Pathfinding here is not very good, is it? And I can't go over there, so let's go tell the vampire that we removed the rune stones. I admit the third one was well hidden. Right, down this way. And over to the window. Now then, Nosferat. Ah, you return, and I sense I am now free to finally depart this cramped space with coffin in tow. And now for your reward. The gift I bestow upon you is immortality. You shall join my brood as its newest member. Arise, my children, and greet your new brother! But what of your solemn vow not to slay me? Oh, that. Well, as a Karin oath bond is based on a man's word, and since I gave up my humanity when I became a vampire, such oaths from me are quite meaningless, I'm afraid. He flashes a rueful smile. Now, with that behind us, let us embrace at last, so you might join our happy family. You committed your last ruse, villain. I will grant you, clever idea with the whole, I'm not a man, so a man's word is no good thing. But, yeah. Well done, and now we need to kill Nosferat. You guys can focus on the dire bear. Oh good, he's no longer invisible. Oh no, he's invisible again. No longer invisible again. Finish him off, please. Thank you. Unidentified armor and scimitar. Nosferat's blade, +1 in keen. Blood of the child. It doesn't have any bonus. Only usable by evil, scare, vampiric touch, dim red light, and when you're hit, it casts doom. Yeah, none of us are going to be using that. I'll let you keep that. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. Let me do a quick rest to recover health. And I am going to head back up and end this episode here because it has gone on about long enough. So yeah, let's head up to the top of the cliff. Next episode, we're going to go and join in this siege that needs to be dealt with. But that'll be in the next episode. So until then, I am Chester44, also known as Falai. That is Jareth Loreni, Reagan, and Perfbin. This has been a Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights, Darkness over Daggerford, and I shall see you all next time.